be a launch, so we're going to do a launch. There was someone on the wall check out at 2 o'clock in the morning, his hair about blow up. Jumping out of your rack and putting on your suit, you get to your battle stations.
Scuttlebutts and our scuttles, and it just makes the passage difficult, and we get to watch everybody do it. We get to grade them. So usually everybody we get to hide below normally and make all the water and steam, and this is the time where we get to crawl out of the depths and affect the rest of the ship, so it works out good.
Yeah,
but,
so you let the nukes out to walk
oh,
around?
well, we don't let the nukes out. We're not crazy. We're keeping nukes down, so. But I actually have a nuke, so.
Yeah,
so they let some of us out, so thanks. But basically what's going to happen is, for the first 15 to 20 minutes, we're setting zebra. And what zebra is, it's a material condition of the ship. There's 3 material conditions. There's X-ray, yoke, and zebra. And if you look around the hatches, not in here, because there's a zebra hatch right here.
Time, +5.
And they'll have X-ray, yoke, or zebra on there, X, Y, or Z. And X-ray is the least defensive, I guess is the way to say it. All the hatches are open. There's nothing that prohibits the flow of water forward, aft, or up or down. And then most of the time what we're in is yoke. So about 50% of the hatches are shut. Anything below the water line is secured. So about the 4th deck down, all those hatches are shut so that if we had a flooding or a fire, the spread of it would be hindered. And then finally for damage control, we have the zebra, which we shut all the hatches on the ship. So, and that was a lesson we learned, I think, from the Forrestal back in the 60s when they had that big fire. The progressive flooding and the fire, just how it just went all the way from aft to forward, and there was nothing that could stop it. So we've started instituting fire zones. A ship this size, we have 9 fire zones, and it's broken up from bow to 44, frame 44, frame 44 to 64,
Time, +6.
64 to 96, 96 to 128, 128 to 148, 148 to 180, 180 to 210. And then the fire zone we're in is fire zone 7, is 180 to 210. So as you can see, our hatches, we're right now, we're at frame 190, so we're in the fire zone. And all a fire zone means is, from port to starboard, there's a continuous wall across the ship, so that when we set zebra, nothing gets through. So we're in that fire zone between frames 180 to 210. Then there's one 210 to 235, and then 235 aft is fire zone 9. So that's what's happening right now. So all the guys are running around. Our goal on a ship this size is to get everything set. Our goal for zebra being set for every hatch, every valve, everything that could possibly lead to progressing the damage further gets shut in 12 minutes. That's our goal. So we'll find out. They'll make an announcement saying zebra set, time, whatever. So we're getting better. When we first came out of the yards,
Time, +7.
so we're at +7. We haven't set it yet. But as we were coming out of the yards, we were up to, 24 minutes? It was terrible. We had forgotten how to do it. 6 months of being dry docked, and you don't have to worry about progressive flooding or anything like that. You just forget what you're doing. Plus, the turnover of the manning on board. Right now, we have almost 5,000 people on board, with the air wing included. But with just the ship's company of 3,000, every month we're turning over probably 400 people. So what happens is throughout the ship, when we go to general quarters, you forget your divisional lines. Like I'm in engineering department, and I eat lunch with engineering department, and I eat dinner with engineering department, and I do everything with engineering department. But during general quarters, I might be up on the O3 level with a bunch of aviation guys, or the bosun's mates, or whatever. That's the only time we really, the departmental lines are just blurred, because our one goal is to spike the ship.
Time, +8.
And we're trying to keep the ship afloat, basically. And you're going to hear there's going to be all kinds of stuff coming at us, missiles and small boat attacks and low slow flyer airplanes coming in. It's going to be like it's going to sound overwhelming. So the way we do it is we break up the ship into, now we have the fire zones already, but then we break up the ship into damage control lockers. So, and that's what everybody does for the first 4 minutes is, as soon as they call away general quarters, everybody runs to their damage control locker. And what we have is, on the main deck, this deck, we have repair 2, which is all the way forward. It's about frame 30. It's on the second deck. We have repair 3, which is about 30 frames behind us. Everybody's manning up right there. We can probably sneak by there and take a look at that on the way out. So that's repair 3. And then we have repair 4 and 5, which are in the middle of the ship, and that's for the reactor plants, plant 1 and plant 2. So repair 4 covers for one main machine room and one reactor
Time,
room.
+9.
Repair 5 covers the aft plant. Then you go up to the main deck, or the hangar deck level, and there you have your 1 series lockers. You have 1 Alpha, which is all the way back out. You have 1 Bravo, which is in hangar bay 2. And you have 1 Foxtrot, which is all the way up forward. And I think, I'm not 100% positive on this, but I think the 1F or 1 Foxtrot means the forward one. And that 1 Alpha means the aft one. And the 1B, Bravo, I always like to think of it as between. So it's between forward and aft. So. Then you move up to the 03 level, which is the deck just below the flight deck. And there you have your 7 series lockers. So you have your 7 Alpha, 7 Bravo, and 7 Fox. 7 Fox being all the way forward, 7 Bravo in the middle, and 7 aft all the way in aft. And in each of these repair lockers, it's just a mini fighting force. You're going to have your repair locker officer, a commissioned officer that holds all the people accountable. There's about 100 people that show up to each locker. You have a locker
Time
officer.
was 10.
You have a locker chief. That chief will work for the officer. I'm not sure how familiar you've become with the Navy rank structure, but there's commissioned officers, and then the enlisted, as they progress, they make it. You're always striving to become a chief petty officer. And I'm sure you might have heard some sayings in movies that chiefs run the Navy, and they're a very important role.
All controlling
So you got
stations
your
are
officers,
man and ready.
and then in the locker you have a chief, and then from there it branches out. The chief kind of runs the thing, and the officer keeps the big picture of what's going on, what damage in his area of responsibility. So this locker chief, he'll have a complete fire team, which is you'll have, a guy that runs the nozzle. You have your on-scene leader, he doesn't do anything, just wears a big fire helmet. There's like a fire chief for that one little locker. So there's somewhere that's not going to do anything. The fire team consists of your on-scene leader. You have your nozzleman. You have your hose handlers. You have a plugman. And that's, there's about six guys that are on a firefighting team. And they'll all dress out, put on their firefighting equipment ensemble. And you'll see them up there today when we do that. They'll be all dressed back to your hand.
But how do you tell if you got flooding on the other side?
Well, for these, I don't know if we have a good. I'll show you on the way out. There's we have vent caps. You can also, if the flooding's high, you can, knock on the door and it'll make a different sound as if it's underwater. But we have caps that we can unscrew, and if the air is rushing out, you assume there's flooding on the other side. If the air is rushing in, you can assume fire. And so we'll give them a few more minutes to let the damage sink in, and then we'll go out. I don't know the water. Sink. Forget the pun for sink, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we won't.
Navy trivia, the lieutenant talked about one.
Talk loud enough for everybody to hear me and kind of give you an overview of what's going on. Right to our left, on the starboard side of the ship, that's the repair locker. It's repair locker 1 Bravo and their firefighting teams, okay? And then over here on the right, starboard side of the ship, is the air department training team. And these are now watch everybody brace for shot. You'll notice in the hangar bay, they'll get down, he shouldn't have his knee on the deck. They'll have to hang onto a pad eye. Now if you're up against the wall, you want to stand on the balls of your feet so that if you get a hit, you pass it. You stand with your mouth open. You don't stick your tongue out, obviously. Mouth, jaw relaxed on the balls of your feet so that if we do take a shot, and because being a metal ship, what'll happen is if we get hit on the port side, the shock wave will easily transit through the steel and go on to anything. So if you're standing stiff leg, you could break your leg or
why don't the easier to
Because you're more
more out?
more bouncy. Yeah. Bouncy. I think that's a technical term. I think that's Daniel's name.
More athletic, one or the other.
Right. So the guys on the right are attacking this aircraft fire. The guys on the left are attacking a fire in this space. So
What are they doing right now?
They don't have one.
now that's your access man. And what he does is he leans his shoulder into the door in case there's a lot of pressure behind it, and then he lifts the hatch. And then once they go in,
They're going in and fight.
fight the fire in there.
And then they close it, they seal the door behind them. So they can't get out.
Prevent spread of fire.
Say again?
Them are the fire.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Say again? Oh, he's the fire. As you can see, it's a Bravo, and a Bravo fire is fuel. So the symbol he shows now is Bravo fire with a flame through, which means the fire is out. You know, the other flag they had up earlier was the Bravo fire. So I'm saying that there's a Bravo fire and there's a fuel fire on this aircraft. So that team went over there and put the fire out. And the way we do that, we fight a fuel fire with AFFF, Rocky Missile Field Forming Foam. I'm sure if that's where you are. But all it does is, when you have fuel on the deck and it's on fire, you cover this fuel with the foam, and it's cool because it's water, and then the foam itself prevents oxygen from reaching the fire, so you break along the sides of the fire triangle, you don't have a fire without oxygen. Now, you'll see in a minute, we're simulating that we have this fuel on the deck and there's AFFF all over the top of it. So when you watch
Andy Vulcan, Department 1, check 160, check 3, check Lima, passage.
When you're up on that, just like this.
Do you think we're in the sort of it's a fueling station, so we got a average 646.
Did they go up? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what happens is we have a man overboard or something like that. We'll come out here, hop in the boat, get a driver, an engine, and stuff like that. A couple of rescue swimmers with us.
I'm going to talk a bit about our CAG, our squadron, and then I'll show you a video, and then afterwards we got some coffee, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that any of you have for today. Go ahead. Thank you. Our carrying 9 consists of 9 squadrons aboard, roughly over 70 aircraft who will take on deployment with us on the carrier to where we go. We have, go back one. Skip the best squadron here on board there. BMFA 146 Blue Diamonds and the BMFA 323 Death Rattlers. Next, both squadrons, F-18 Charlie Hornet squadrons. They are we're stationed out of NAS Lemoore, California. The Marines are stationed out of Miramar, California, down in San Diego. They get the better spot than we did. Both squadrons are single seat squadrons, so we only have one air crew in our jets. We handle everything, flying and the weapons and systems management. The F-18 Charlie was our first multi-role aircraft, being able to do fighter and strike capability. So we do both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions, and can sometimes do both in the same missions. We have the VFA 154 Black Knights and the VFA 147 Argonauts. They are Super Hornet squadrons. The Argonauts just transitioned from Charlies to the F-18s. The Argonauts are Echo Squadron. That's a single-seat Super Hornet squadron. The 154, they fly the F-18 Foxtrot Super Hornet, which is a two-seater. So with them, they have a weapons systems officer, or a WISO, however they call it, in their backseat to help them operate their aircraft. Again, this is just our newest strike fighter we have in the Navy's arsenal, slowly replacing the older F-18 Charlies, and able to do the exact same mission. Another mission that they do for us, they do in-flight refueling. They're able to take off in Afghanistan. But I know you guys don't want to listen to me talk here all day, so we're going to show you actual footage that we put together as a squadron on that deployment. So
Did you lose any planes? And what about the airplane? How long does that take to turn around?
Turn around, typically about an hour.
So another pilot will...
Another pilot, you'll shut it down, they'll reload it. And again, this squadron dropped a lot of ordnance, so the ordnance men were busy putting new ordnance on, but we were busy expending it and reloading the gun. So it was good. We'll throw this in, I guess. You guys ready? Yeah.
sure, there you go.
Laundry, no laundry.
Why is it no longer?
Okay.
Sense a little uncertainty in the door open.
We're going down.
Yeah.
Good.
Take a shower and jump back in the deck. Back to where
Thanks.
Well, this uncertainty of the rest of it is following my awesome lead.
At this point, I can make it.
Yeah.
You know where you are now?
Yeah. We're on the level where our rooms are, and we're about 4 or 5 furlongs. With that number.
Need offers.
More like a shimmer.
Life's a bread.
Unless that's people with low.
But I guess if you hit it, you'll go down.
All right. Oh, man, excuse me, sir.
No, so let them through.
Right here.
Perfect.
Go ahead and drop off all your gear that you bought. Hang out for a little bit. We'll come and get you when we're ready to go up to Flag Bridge, Wiltshire Road, to go for a night flight. Cool. It's hard to say. It was pretty warm today, but it was probably worth taking it. Go ahead. Say bye.
You made it.
There I am, yeah.
You're there.
We're going to stop down the edge right here.
See, I got some good night video here.
Every night vision.
No, it's just like this camera takes really good low level lighting video. So you can see pretty good there.
That's great, yeah. My chin.
You're gonna probably flash off the glass.
Oh, I turned off the flash.
Speaker down from here, do they got reflective tape on them, or they got some sort of blue here?
Is it where?
Well, from what I see, yeah, it's just the light glare stuff.
They're not really on land right now. With all the planes on this.
General quarters, they just hang out there. Shake our sabers at them.
They don't have time to get there.
Look at us, we're gonna
Damage
pull all,
control
you don't want us to
qualifications,
pull
really.
out.
The blinking F is means we have a foul deck right now.
2 years of analyzing the same thing.
And the 74 is just
They have a trained eye to watch you, so they don't see what you see. They don't see the night, day, rain or shine. If there's people flying, they're out there making sure. Exactly, it's all backups. You got more. You got someone on it, and you got someone more senior over him, and then you got the overall guy who's in charge of everybody.
Catapult over there.
And they are there every time we're flying, and no kid,
Are they all watching at the same time?
yeah, they're
Or
all
it's like one person
they're all
in
watching.
charge?
You have 3 people on the radio together, and they're all backing each other up. It's all safety. In case one guy who maybe he's training up, he doesn't see things fast enough. He's learning. Then you'll have a guy who's a senior guy, and he can override whatever this guy says. And then there's a CAG guy, the carrier air group, and he's in charge of everybody there, and safety is his primary thing. And we have people that
one fighter from
we have a lot of other guys. They are looking at the flight deck.
And
all these
this
tan
one was
lines
launched by
for a
catapult
reason.
over here?
If people or
yeah,
jets
there's one from
or
here and one
equipment
here.
cross these lines, and that's in the landing area, and that's dangerous to the not only the person in there, and the foul the deck, and they're foul. And again, like when people have emergencies, like a lot of times people have no radios, they have some of their systems don't work properly, they don't land. They can talk to you down low. They'll sit there and they'll block you and tell you all the way down if you're on a nice low, you're a little high, you're a little low, a little power. And they're good. Oh yeah, I had no level, like it wasn't missing anything. It was kind of neat.
Is that one coming in?
Not yet.
Oh, wow.
Not yet. They're still doing a mass launch. Lights on the plane. You'll see red and green lights. Red lights on the left side of the wings, green lights on the right side of the wings, white lights in the tail.
When you salute, you hit the lights, and it's up to the wall.
That's-
Which one of them they push the button?
That's right. You know, they're the guy with the wands down there. They're in charge. So if something's wrong with the system, they have computer systems that tell them, hey, this is not right. So this guy's he's full throttle. He's doing a wipeout. That's what all his controls are moving, just making sure there's nothing sticking on the stick. And now his lights come on. So now he is ready to go. The guy with the wands he'll do a real quick check, make sure that no one's saying, hey, this is bad, don't launch him. And then he'll touch the deck and point. Repeat, next guy 10. They'll start up. So the guy at the bottom of the stack, he'll go. A minute later, the guy right above him will go. And that way we're given a time, and then we can calculate where we need to be and push a minute. So this guy's leading. That's right. This guy's leading. So
Cassie has it back over there.
they're launching out. Everybody's to hang out and do your timing. He's the first one down.
That looks a little low.
And
no?
then what he'll do is he'll take off, go into
That's
the
not low.
other one. He cut the floor.
Alright. Hello and good morning, everybody. I am Caesar Reposa, this is Caesar Diet, and we are the day bakers in this bake shop. It's probably the most exciting, happy place in the entire ship. Everybody loves us. Everybody loves us. I can't tell you how many times a day people come knock on the door like, "Are you have any cookies? Do you have any?" Wanting cakes, or like right now he's decorating a cake for the SKs. They put in a special request, so he's our cake decorator. And he's by all means help himself to any of the sweets and desserts we have. Obviously the cookies are a favorite to everybody. If you look around you, this is where we produce sweets for the crew. More specifically for the E6 and below, which is a good chunk of the crew. So, once we got air wing on board, we might have over 5,000 people. We serve, a good 3,500 of them just here in these galleries. And there's two of them. This is the aft galley, and then there's one on board. These are the two main ones. We don't make any space for there. This is just for the main line. Me and Andaya produce all of the sweets that go on the line for lunch or dinner. We do have two night bakers. Boone over here is with Squadron, and he's helping out at night for Season 3 Crawler, who is at the frosting ceremony at the moment, otherwise he would be here. Just my third. Which is always which we produce. Cinnamon rolls, and we also make some dinner rolls, always from scratch. Sometimes we have little things just to help us out with a little bit of pre-made. It takes a lot of time and effort to make stuff for so many people. And for the most part, we try to make as much, stuff from scratch as we can, always fresh, every day. Those are the ovens. We have several of them. They work most of the time. Behind me, this is our big mixer. This is where we do a lot of the cinnamon rolls, sweet doughs, and dinner rolls, because we can serve about 3,000 portions of dough inside of it. Whereas our small mixer right there is about 500. If you look over there, to kind of help us out, we have a kind of a dough press. It makes them into little balls, so we don't have to actually hand roll.
question. There's more actually. I have roses as well.
Yeah, yep, we can
You can just wait there.
Yep, yep. Even on C2.
That is awesome. CS3, that is awesome.
Different colors, different varieties of flowers.
How long does it take to make one flower?
It only takes like about 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Well, CS3, thank you very much for your time.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Straight out of high school, joined the military. What I've been doing for the past 3 years, I love it. I wouldn't want to do any other job besides flying. I wouldn't mind flying. Back in the jet shop, we worked on 6 different engines. You have the J52, which is in this can right here. You have the F404. There's 2 different types of the F404. There's the 400 model, which is the Navy model. Sitting over there on the rails, the one that's not pressed up. You have the F404 402 model. It goes in the Marine F-18. It's sitting right in front of it. It's all pressed up in the white paper. We have the F414. And actually right now they're running it on our test cell out on the fan tail. I wish I could take it out there, but I can't do it. It's a lot of noise and a big hazard, but I wish I could show you that. But it's out on the fan tail being ran right now. We also have the T-56. You see that big metal can sitting out there in the hangar bay? The big one? They're inside there. That's a T700. It's real small. You can't really see it. It's over in the stack. But those are the engines we work on. Now back here, pretty much what we do, the squadron will tear up an engine and they'll drop it off the airplane. We don't actually drop it. The squadron drops the engine. They bring them back here to us. You put them on the rail, like that one is over there. We get a brand new engine, like all the ones we have in here right now are brand new, ready to go. Take our new engine, give it to the squadron, they take it out. We're like a big R-pool. They bring it in, we give a new one, fix the bad one. Now the process of fixing the bad one is very simple. Usually our process is for FOD, foreign object and debris. Say the engine sucks in a rock or a nut or a bolt or something for that matter. All these engines now are called modular engines. And what that means is that every part, every piece comes apart in a section. For example, I'll take you over here to the port. Goes in our Navy F-18 Hornets. Now, I'll show you the basic steps, basic breakdown of the engine. This part right here, this forward part is called a fan module. If something happens to the fan, what we mean by modular engine is we can take these bolts out right here all the way around and just pull the fan off. Now, in the old days, the J52 is the old school model. If something happened to the fan, you had to tear the whole fan apart just to be able to take it off. This saves a lot more time. This whole thing comes off in a matter of 20 minutes. You can take the whole fan off. Now directly behind your fan is your compressor. Now what your compressor does is it compresses the air, therefore you call it compressor. The fan sucks it in, the compressor squeezes it down. Right behind it sits right here is your combustion chamber. Your air is being sucked in, getting compressed, then it goes to the combustion chamber, gets mixed with fuel, and then we have a spark, boom, you got ignition. Right behind that is your high pressure turbine. It squeezes the air down even tighter after it comes out of it. Squeezes all that hot air down after it comes out of the combustion chamber. And directly behind that is your low pressure turbine, called the LPT, which again squeezes down more. So pretty much it's like a big vacuum with a hole in it pretty much. You suck all your air, you compress it down, mix it with fuel, you get a spark, boom, combustion, you shoot it out the back. It's all thrust. Now all this back here, the whole section back here is called your afterburner. So all this hot air is coming out of your combustion chamber, going through your high pressure turbine, your low pressure turbine, it's still hot. So what we do, as it hits the afterburner, we shoot more fuel into it, and then we have the igniter plugs. These little things right here are called igniter plugs. They shoot out another spark, that's how you get the flames out of that. So So the activator is pretty much another engine without the turbine. Just taking that extra hot air coming off the engine, adding more fuel, another spark, and getting more thrust out of it. Now these engines here, 404, the 400 model is putting out about 21,000 pounds of thrust. That's that full afterburner. 402 is the marine version of this engine. They're putting out around 23,000 pounds of thrust. Well, that's
extended range Sea Sparrow missile, going to about 27 miles, maybe even farther. Incredibly capable missile. This is one of the self-defense measures we have. It's not something we can actively come in contact with another vessel. It fires it out of the front, picking up the ship or do land strikes. That's our internet. And from here to that first wire, they're supposed to be steering that in the air and then landing on it. So they've got a significant amount of space. System. What this is, much like the Sea Whiz or the NATO Sea Sparrow mount that we have on the opposite side, except these have a modified AIM-9 or a Sidewinder heat-seeking missile. We've got these that just roll off, kind of like a Gatling missile system. They zone in right on what the targets are for, but again, self-defense. They're meant to take out counterattack or to explode in the range of. If this was a anti-missile system, somebody fired a missile at this, has the accuracy to be able to knock a missile out of the sky. Very important. When you're overdoing flight ops, you have our flight deck shooters. He's a safety observer, and he'll make sure he's looking from here all the way down the flight deck within the landing. Tons of road with sandbags on the end. Basically, the landing on that. So low powered that basically they would struggle to keep up with the you're noticing the process for how they actually launched the aircraft, or the different things that were going on with the nose gear. But they will bring the aircraft up, they will drop down that forward beam that comes down off of that. It's going to pass over the holdback bar hook. The shuttle's going to stop right here, and that nose gear is going to ride up over the front and lock it in front of it. That is actually what pulls the aircraft and launches it. Is that one attachment, that one little bar that sits onto the nose gear. I mentioned the holdback one is, you see the bar that they will bring out and they will hook up to the back of that gear and put it there. What that is it is a rated bar of strain or pressure that's meant so the aircraft can go to full power, have its engines going full force so it's the maximum capacity to leave the flight deck. Capabilities of our helicopters aboard HS MH-60 Sierra Nighthawks. The beautiful thing about these are search and rescue helicopters. These drones for the guys that are going to get dirty. Put gun mounts in the windows. They're going to put Hellfire rockets on it and send them inland to defend troops if need be. So beforehand we had minor capabilities to do that. It was uniform warfare, but now this is just dedicated for a search and rescue and combat operations. They will take special forces when they come aboard. They will take the
SK2 Marcelino Allen 10. MM2 Joshua Thomas. EM2 Larry Troy. And DC2 John Van Gelder. DC3 Michael Borrego. EM3 Derek Bucker.
foreign object damage, exactly right, okay? Coins, paper clips, we talked about those. You thought having one in an aircraft was bad. Imagine putting one in a catapult. That's pretty bad. So they use them to keep them clean. They'll take them off every time they shoot them, and they'll cover them up every time that they're done with them.
So they're not covered up right now. Why is that?
Because they're probably getting them warmed up for flight operations later. Every time we do flight operations, they have what are called catapults. I cannot take you forward any more than you are right now. Any closer, you'll be with the whales for dinner. That's okay.
So I got a question. What
These are before the breaker bar that they've got. Again, this is the lever that's going to come down and hook into the nose gear. And this is where that brake bar holds on to the back canopies here on the EA-6B Growler. The EA-6B's primary mission is radar jammer, radar hunter killers. Okay, so if we were flying over the beach, if we don't want the bad guys to know that we're coming, that we've got all of our aircraft moving with us, what they do is these pods here, okay, what they do is they detect a radar frequency and then they send it back upon itself to jam it, or they can change it to send out to make it look as if there were 1,000 planes that were coming, or things like that. Also, this is the only aircraft that carries the HARM. The HARM is the High Altitude Anti-Radar Missile. And what it does, it is designed, you just dial in, say, okay, frequency 105.9 country, dial that in, you send it off, and off it goes, and it's going to hunt it down, and it's going to follow the exact track of the radar that's emitting it right to the source and destroy it. Also, if they get smart and they say, oh look, there's a missile coming at us, and they shut their radar. Work my way forward. These giant white cap things are called the Wildcats, okay? The capstan. What this is for, okay? These wind the anchor chain up and down. These are the power-driven motors that are going to actuate the anchor chain and allow it to either retract or to lower down the anchor. The little enclosure here, these go from the anchor chain locker that is down on the 7th deck. It comes straight up from the 7th deck, pulls it all the way around, and it goes out through the hawse pipe, and out these two pipes on the other side, the anchor's hanging out just outside of those. The two anchors that the Johnston Stennis had came off of the USS Forrestal. You may have heard enough rumors about that. Very famous character from the Vietnam era. course, 30 tons of steel apiece. They don't mind just throwing those away, so they recycle from area to area. Direct your attention to the back here. And it's also going to operate the capstan and the windlass. What these do, see this big red wheel here, there's a person that turns it, where they're going to release the brake. I'll show you the brakes in a second. They're down below us on another deck. But it takes this huge brake, just like you've got disc brakes on a car, and it releases that and allows it to move forward and back. This wheel, okay, hydraulically actuated, they're going to move this where it spins it around. This is the dial that controls it to pay anchor chain out and forward. They're only going to put one shot of chain out at a given time. Very rarely, I've never even heard of a case where they say let go of the anchor, they let go of the brake, they say move it all forward, and they just let all the anchor pay out. I've never seen them do anything like that. One, because it's very, very dangerous. I don't think there's ever been a need that's been that great. I talked about a shot of chain. Mission has its own bell. We're fortunate that we actually have two. If you look across the other side, that is the USS America, CB-66. When the John C. Stennis was commissioned in 1995, okay, the America that following year was decommissioned. So what they did is we kind of took on the moniker as America's flagship. They call us the Big Dog from time to time. We even took her name. And the other disc, that gold disc that's up against the wall, is one of the capstan covers that you see from the line working mechanism there. We inherited that, the ship's wheel that we'll have down the hangar bay on occasion, and the silver.
Yeah, you don't stay sexy with the donuts, you stay sexy with these bad boys. I'm
So when we load up 2,000 pounders, it's because we have a specific.
You'll never see them again.
Yeah, we don't.
You don't get them back.
Yeah, and frankly, it's much easier to account for them if they expend them, because what you'll find out is when you go down to magazines, a bomb is just a shell. It's a bomb. But to make it something, we have to add all these different components on it. And every time we add a component onto it, we change its code. Everything has a code. And so if I have a standard Mark 82 500-pound bomb, well that's a, we'll call it a now 0800. Well, as soon as I put a GPS tail fin assembly on it and a guidance nose on it, it's no longer a 0800, it's now a 0900. Well, now I got to change it in my system. Well, when they bring it back, you know, I have to sit there and go, okay, well, I take it apart, I got to change it back into what it was before. If I don't keep accounting of where all my little pieces parts are, yeah. But if they take the whole unit out and just drop it, that's easy. Expend it.
So, how much would a 500-pound bomb be worth?
You know, they're really not that expensive. They're about.
What's the kill radius of a 500-pound bomb?
Kill or frag? I mean, kill is probably 150 meters. Frag out to 5. Yeah, about $48,000, I think. But IOUs. Petty Officer Haggerty, our newest third-class aviation ordnanceman.
So, if you're doing close-in air support, you don't use anything that big then?
The smallest we have is 500 pounds.
So you got to be that far away from the friendly forces.
We actually have a new bomb on board that has less ordnance inside, actually less explosive package, and more just solid weight. And then what we're going to just use is called a kinetic kill or a low collateral damage bomb. And if I hit a building with it, or if I, a structure, the kinetic energy of this thing falling through the building is going to destroy the building, vice the explosives. So that's what we'll use.
And the friendly guys across the street, they'll be okay.
Right. That's the goal.
1,500 feet is a pretty big radius.
Well, you have things that in your frag distance, depending on what you're dropping into.
Okay, everybody, Chief Peterson, good to meet you guys. I'll just briefly walk you through all the weapons we have in here. Starting over here, This is our air-to-air missile anti-aircraft. It's the AIM-7 spare, no wings and fins in them. We actually we just fit check them and we put them in a skid and send them up to the flight deck. Or then the squadrons, after they put them on the aircraft, they will put the wings and fins on. So that's why they don't look like a typical missile right now. This is our AGM-88, which is our arm missile, high altitude anti-radiation missile. It basically seeks out enemy SAM site radars and blows them up. And this is our CADM-88 with blue stripe. These are all CADMs, and then this one here with the gold stripe on it is a dummy. And the only difference between the CADMs and the DADMs are that the dummies are dummy. They have no internal components. They don't target enemy radar. This is a weapon that they cannot see come in on the radar. It's once we drop it, the wings open up and it just guides in by GPS. GPS antenna is actually right here. It's a pretty unique weapon. Most of our missiles have different ways of arming, different safe arming devices. This is a unique weapon because these lugs here that are suspension lugs from the aircraft. Once the bomb rack on the missile or on the aircraft releases this weapon, these lugs smack down as part of the actual safe arming. Once they come down, it closes the circuit and allows the jet to energize the targeting system and jogs for the controls and guidance.
GPS guided free fall.
It's classified as a missile, but there's no propulsion, there's no rocket motor.
Glider, you can see the wing over there, big glider.
This is our GBU's Paveway 3 bomb. It's 2,000 pound. It's GBU 31, Victor 4. We have the Victor 2 behind you. It's similar, a little bit different strake design on it. Basically, our strakes and hardback here provide stabilization, and the strakes direction will cut through the air and allow the guidance section in the back to control the direction of the aircraft or the weapon. And this one is actually GPS guided. That's a GPS antenna in the far aft area there. This is a partially assembled GBU 10. Normally it would have a CCG sticking out, computer control group out here. This would actually be the guidance section. If you look over there is GBU 24, which is our hard target penetrator. The CCG on the front end, the huge, would typically be on this weapon as well.
That GBU-24, this your GBU over here, the hard target penetrators, bunker busters.
So it's not guided. And like this one here, for example, it's a 2,000 pound general purpose weapon. It's, if you notice, it just has a conical fin on it, which just provides stabilization. There's no guidance. The pilot will drop it and it'll just fall. You gotta really aim with it. But we really don't use these anymore. Vietnam was the last war that really used these in. We're all about precision guide now and low collateral damage. And that's where all the GPS comes in with the JDAMs. And these ones which are laser guided. And so basically these general purpose weapons we don't really use too often, but we still train with them. They're generally for carpet bombing, and like I said, we're all about precision now. Cluster bombs, these are pretty cool. Along with dispensing hundreds of little grenade-sized explosives, they also dispense pamphlets warning people of attacks that we're going to do, things like that. More of we'll drop little leaflets in enemy zones saying that we have aid for them or food, just basically to communicate with enemy people. We'll have
one thing. Anything you take pictures down here or film is for personal use only. Okay? Personal use only. This is not public information down here. So. Go ahead.
Here we have more general purpose bombs, conical fins on 500 pound bombs. This AGM-114 Hellfire is used for light armored vehicles and tanks. It's fired from helos. We also have quick strike mines. This little guy here. special kits. Only the president can authorize building of these because they're so difficult to recover once they're laid. Very specifically programmed and plotted when we do plot them, but we have to be able to build those. So we do a lot of training on them.
Do they bury themselves?
They're air laid and dropped in the water.
Water.
So they sink down and then different settings on. But because, like I said, they're so difficult to recover, they have to be plotted very specifically and programmed. And we have to put them on a grid and locate them individually. So
The small arms. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we got down there. 40mm grenade attachment on the bottom. This is primarily used by our forces over in Iraq right now. It's the exact same model. It has iron sights, and if you screw the top here, what we're using over there, is you have your rail system. Your rail system can accommodate anything from lights, lasers, night vision, anything you see, CNN, movies, that's what we can put on here. It holds a 30-round magazine with the caliber is 1mm is 5.56 or equivalent to a 223. The grenade down here is a 40mm. It has an effective range of 300 yards with a kill blast of 5 meters and a wound blast of 15 meters. So you don't gotta be a good shot, you just gotta know how to shoot. The original design for this was an M16 back in the Vietnam era. As time and technology keeps growing, so do our weapons. So this is the most upgraded as we have right now. During import, what our security forces will use is a basic 12-gauge shotgun used in close-in combat. It's 5 in the tube, pump action, just like the Terminator would use in T2. What they would do is, this would be for the brow watches, for entry control points. And this is mainly used by security and security. Another primary weapon of security is the M9 Beretta. This is what they're going to be. You see all the security forces along the ship and the holsters with 15 in the magazine. This is what everybody carries. This is our first line of defense right here. Actually, question. Pilots carry the SIG P228. It's only a 13-round magazine, but you know they're usually in the cockpits, not on the ground. But if something does happen, they can use this to take care of business down there. Now, every time we pull in the port, we got to get the mooring lines over. So what we would do is grab your regular old M14. But we're going to put an adapter kit on it with the rubber projectile with the metal insert. Comes inside the projectile. Adapter there. We use a special ground. It's not actually a bullet, but it's configured differently. M14 with your Leopold scope on it. This is mostly used by VBSS teams on small boys for more discriminate fire. This will actually be the guy in the action, but behind the action. This is going to be the sniper that's got your back when you need some help from beyond. And in the Gulf, you'll stand a O10 sniper watch for small boat attacks instead of using what we have here, the M2 HB 50 cal. Now 50 cal has a maximum effective range of 1 nautical mile. So we usually don't really have much of a, it's a huge risk, don't get me wrong, but if we could reach out and touch them at a mile, it significantly decreases our risk. Spitting out 450 to 500 rounds per minute. So if we need to sink a vessel, a small rib boat coming in, we absolutely have the firepower to do it. If you don't know, the diameter of the bullet is 1/2 inch. Oh gun. It's an upgraded really version of the M60 that we used in Nam, but now it's faster, better, stronger. 600 rounds per minute, and you're not losing a lot of range in the 50 cal. It's only a